Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon when you're watching this video lecture. Today let us discuss about marginal costing. This chapter broadly has three areas of discussion. One is CVP analysis. The second one is short-term decision making. And the third one is marginal costing versus absorption costing comparison. So these are the three things broadly this topic of marginal costing covers, particularly at CA intermediate level. Of course, application of this can be seen extensively at final level also in the areas of decision making. More focus will be there in final level on the decision making aspects. As far as CA intermediate level is concerned, more focus is there on CVP analysis, and some problems and questions can be expected from short-term decision making, which are relatively smaller ones compared to final level. And the comparison of marginal costing and absorption costing is altogether a different type of topic, which can be expected only at this level. We will discuss that also at the end of this chapter. But before moving to that, we need to understand certain aspects related to the CVP analysis. In general, if nothing is mentioned, marginal costing, we are referring to CVP analysis only. So the core of marginal costing is about the CVP analysis. So what is this CVP analysis? CVP analysis is nothing but cost, volume and profit analysis. That's called CVP analysis as an acronym. Cost, volume, profit analysis. So what does it tell us? Majorly, what is the focus of this? For that, we should understand basic definition or meaning of the word marginal itself. See, marginal is the word wherever we use. The meaning of that is 1 plus. In other words, one additional unit. If we say marginal revenue, that means the revenue that can be generated by selling one more unit. If we say marginal utility in economics, that is a utility generated by consuming one more unit. But here what we are focusing is on marginal cost. So naturally, what is marginal cost? That is the cost of producing one more unit. So if, for example, just to take an example, say if 1000 units are produced with a cost of 10,000 rupees, if 1001 units are produced, just for understanding purposes, at a cost of 1000, 10,010 rupees, then marginal cost of that one unit is 10 rupees, because that is the additional cost that is incurred to produce one more unit. To manufacture 1000 units, you took only 10,000 rupees. To manufacture 1001 units, you took 10,010 rupees. So what is the marginal cost in that case is 10 rupees, which is the additional cost of manufacturing one more unit. Just as an example, not that it will be exactly like this. So the word marginal cost means the cost of manufacturing one more unit. Okay, fine. In general, what will be that additional cost of manufacturing one more unit? In general, that is going to be variable cost only, because anyway fixed cost is not going to change. Even if you produce 1000 units also, 1001 units also, 2000 units also, as long as it is produced within the overall capacity of the organization, the fixed cost is going to remain fixed. So what is the nature of variable cost? That is the only cost which will change in accordance with the level of activity. If the level of activity increases, variable cost also increases in the same proportion. That means both are directly related with each other. Whereas fixed cost in total will remain constant, irrespective of the level of activity. Of course, that does not mean we can increase the level of activity to infinity. When we say level of activity is increasing, that increase or decrease is happening within the overall capacity of the organization. That is always the basic assumption with which we have to work out and understand these terms: variable cost and fixed cost. So fixed cost also remains constant only when the overall production is within the capacity of the organization, of the factory, let us say. Then only fixed cost will remain constant. So if nothing is mentioned, automatically we have to assume in all cases that the production is happening within the capacity of the organization. Naturally, that's what happens. Within that, fixed cost remains constant. Variable cost will be directly related to the level of activity, and it is going to increase if the level of activity increases. It is going to decrease if the level of activity decreases. We know that. So the point is, when you want to manufacture one more unit, what is the additional cost that is going to be incurred? That's what we are calling it as marginal cost. Yes, but is that going to be including fixed cost also? Normally no, when we look at the assumption of same capacity being true. In other words, the additional cost that is going to be incurred for manufacturing one more unit entirely is going to be variable cost only. Fixed cost will not change. If you manufacture that one extra unit or not, it is not going to have any impact on fixed cost. It is going to be the same. So what is the additional cost that is going to be incurred for manufacturing that one extra unit is variable cost. So, though not absolutely correct all the cases, as far as our understanding and solving of problems in this chapter is concerned, variable cost, when we are calling about, that is nothing but marginal cost. So marginal cost here is looking and studying the variable cost. So marginal cost and variable cost almost are synonymous as far as our discussion is concerned. Reason is clear, because variable cost is the only cost that is going to be incurred when you want to manufacture one more unit. That is why marginal cost and variable cost both are one and the same for our discussion purposes. Will it be exactly the same in all cases in reality? That is a different story and a discussion. Reality will not always match the theories that we know. But as far as theoretical understanding of marginal costing is concerned, we can simply think as a synonymous word, we are going to study variable cost of a product. So we should definitely know what is the nature of variable cost, which is nothing but marginal cost for us. So the name, though the chapter indicates marginal costing, our focus is all here what? Simply variable cost. Now, what is the nature of this variable cost? Variable cost is that which will be directly related to the level of activity, as we have just now also reiterated. So if there is a certain level of activity at which some cost is there, and if there is another level of activity at which some other cost is there, then why there is a difference in that cost between these two levels of activities is purely because of variable cost. So first and foremost feature of variable cost is directly related to the level of activity. In other words, number of units you can say. Second thing, okay, once variable cost is directly related to the level of activity, how is it going to change? In total, definitely it is going to change whenever the level of activity is going to change. If level of activity increases, variable cost also increases, and vice versa. But another point to note here is variable cost per unit is going to be constant. Of course, when there are no changes in the other external factors, when all the other things remain the same, normally the variable cost per unit is constant. Sometimes students take these things too literally. In the question, it will give material cost increased by 10%. Student says, no, variable cost remains constant. Baba, variable cost remains constant normally when the external factors, like let us say material prices increased in the market, Then also will variable cost per unit be constant? Will it never change in life or what? Nothing like that. Not in that sense. The point is, variable cost per unit is constant when all the external factors are same. That external factors, we have to assume they are same if no other information is given. But if information is given about them, then we cannot be rigid and say, I will not care about any external factors. I will only think always in life variable cost per unit is constant. That will be ridiculous. It is not that way it works. So when within the capacity we are discussing, when the external factors are all same without any change in them, these all principles will work. That means variable cost per unit will remain constant. That is the point to be noted here in relation to variable cost. So the overall variable cost or total variable cost is directly related to the level of activity. However, variable cost per unit is not going to change. It is going to remain constant. And another important point, or a formula rather you can say, to calculate the variable cost per unit at any level of activity, the per unit variable cost is supposed to be constant, right? How to calculate that? So that is a formula which we should know. That is difference in total cost divided by difference in level of activity, or you can call it number of units. I prefer to use the word level of activity because it is technically more correct, but practically when we actually solve the problems, it is number of units. So difference in total cost divided by difference in number of units, we can say. That is how variable cost per unit can be calculated when you know the total cost at two different levels of activities. So just for an example, let us say a particular organization is manufacturing 1000 units and it has incurred 1 lakh rupees cost. And if it is manufacturing 1200 units, let us say if it is incurring 1 lakh 8,000 rupees cost, just for example, taking some numbers. So this is the total cost and this is the level of activity or number of units. How to find out the variable cost per unit? Simple. Difference in total cost, that is 8,000, 1,08,000 minus 1,08,000 divided by difference of activity, that is 200. So 8,000 divided by 200 will be how much? Naturally 40 rupees is the variable cost per unit. Directly we can find it using that formula, difference in total cost divided by difference in number of units. 40 rupees is the variable cost per unit. Then naturally a question comes, how much is fixed cost? Fixed cost in total should remain constant. So what is the fixed cost here? You can find it by substituting it in any of the levels of activities. Let us say 1000 units are produced. Variable cost is going to be 40 plus fixed cost is equal to 1 lakh, which automatically means fixed cost is going to be 60,000. So irrespective of the level of activity, fixed cost is 60,000. That you can check at 1200 also. Let us say 1200 into 40, that comes to 48,000. Add fixed cost 60,000, which will still remain same. Then the total cost is 1,08,000. That's what we have, right? So the point of segregating the fixed cost and variable cost per unit is a very important aspect we should be able to do if the information provided is prompting us to do that. So these are the three major things that we should know and remember about variable cost. In total, the variable cost is directly proportionate to, directly related to the level of activity. It increases when the level of activity increases and vice versa. Whereas variable cost per unit is always constant. And how to calculate that? Difference in total cost divided by difference in level of activity. That is how we get variable cost per unit. So that is one thing we should note before moving on to the CVP analysis and other aspects of marginal costing in general. So once again, let me reiterate, whenever we are saying marginal costing as a chapter, it includes three aspects: CVP analysis, decision making, naturally short-term decision making, and marginal costing, absorption costing comparison. But otherwise, marginal costing, whenever we refer, in general, we are talking about CVP analysis only. Simply, we are going to observe and understand variable costs. Our focus is going to be on that and application of that. As the name itself indicates, it is about cost, volume, and profit. That is what is CVP analysis. Cost, volume, and profit. How they are related with each other is what CVP analysis studies. And in this CVP analysis, or in general marginal costing, there are many formulae that we should remember and apply in the examination questions. Definitely, one of the formulae is already just now discussed. Change in total cost divided by change in level of activity or number of units. That is to find out variable cost per unit. That is one formula, which is a generic formula that has nothing to do with marginal costing only. It can be applied anywhere, wherever it is required. But in particular to the CVP analysis and marginal costing, also there are very high number of formulae that we should know and remember. Of course, we have to remember them. But while remembering, always there are two options. One, blindly remembering. Two, understanding and then remembering. And naturally, we go with second option. Blindly remembering will tantamount to by hearting, which is of no use, particularly for numerical subjects like costing. So, we should understand the formulae and we should be able to identify the relationship between various items in the derivation of those formulae. And all these formulae, whatever we are going to discuss, they all have link and they all have some sense and common sense relationship attached with each of them. If we observe that, if we can understand that, then we don't need to specially put some effort to remember them. Automatically we can remember them. If not also, we have to remember them for the purpose of problem solving, no option. So before we move on to the next class, where we solve more problems, we should be very much thorough with all the formulae related to marginal costing. Where this all story of marginal costing formula starts. It starts with a very simple story. Simply, everybody knows this, even a child knows this. Cost plus profit is equal to selling price. Isn't it? Somebody incurs some cost, adding some profit. That is the price at which they sell. That is selling price. So selling price is nothing but cost plus profit. So this can be written in any other way also. Profit is equal to selling price minus cost. Sales minus cost. If you take per unit, if you take total, logic is same. So let us say if you take per unit, then here cost is also per unit, profit is also per unit. So cost per unit plus profit per unit is equal to selling price per unit. Now I want to take total. No problem. Multiply both sides with the number of units. You will get total, but still the same. So the point is, either way, we should be able to understand each of these formulae, but more than formulae, the concept behind that formula is more important. So the logic is very clear. Cost plus profit is equal to selling price. Simple. Now, let us just extend this. Let us say cost is possible to be bifurcated into two costs, two types. One is fixed cost, then variable cost. So the same cost, now we have split into two things. Fixed cost plus variable cost. Plus profit remains the same. That is still the same denotion we have. That is equal to selling price. Same thing actually. Only thing is the cost has been split into fixed and variable. Same equation. Now let us take variable cost to the other side. So what happened here? Fixed cost plus profit is equal to sales minus variable cost. Done. That is one equation we got. Fixed cost plus profit is equal to sales minus variable cost. That is what we call as contribution. In marginal costing, this is a very important term. That is contribution. So contribution is nothing but fixed cost plus profit or sales minus variable cost. Of course, once again, even if it is per unit also, even if it is total also, doesn't matter. Concept is same. If you have contribution per unit, if you want it, then you have to do what? You have to take the selling price per unit, deduct variable cost per unit from that. You will get contribution per unit. Or if you want to have total contribution, multiply the contribution per unit with the number of units, you get total contribution. So per unit and total thing is always should be normally understood with common sense. That is why we use the word volume very importantly. Volume is important. Volume is nothing but number of units. In each question, whenever we encounter anything, we should be clear first of all, are we looking at and are we talking about per unit things or total things? But concept is same. What is the concept of contribution? Or what is the formula for contribution? It is nothing but fixed cost plus profit. Or even it can be called as sales minus variable cost. So sales minus variable cost is contribution. Fixed cost plus profit is also contribution. Now, we have this here. Same thing I am writing. Fixed cost plus profit is equal to sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution. If you divide it with sales once again, can be done. And if you multiply it with 100 for expression as a percentage, that's what we call it as PV ratio. So we have in one shot got three formula for PV ratio. What are the formula? Fixed cost plus profit divided by sales, which is nothing but contribution by sales, or sales minus variable cost divided by sales, which is also nothing but contribution by sales, or if you know contribution directly, contribution divided by sales. But of course, all of them have to be multiplied with 100 in order to express the same PV ratio in a percentage terms. That is PV ratio formula, contribution divided by sales, or fixed cost plus profit divided by sales, or sales minus variable cost divided by sales. That's what is PV ratio formula, we can say. Now, we have PV ratio already. What is this indicating? That we should understand. What is contribution indicating and what is PV ratio indicating? Contribution is indicating how much amount is earned by the organization to cover its fixed cost and make some profit also. And how is it earning? By reducing variable cost from its sales. So how much is the amount over and above the variable cost the organization is earning? That is called contribution. That is sales minus variable cost. And towards what this contribution is going to be useful? That is going to be useful for the purpose of covering the fixed cost. And if fixed cost is fully covered and still if there is any positive contribution, that additional contribution over and above the fixed cost is going to be profit. And we should be very clear with any of these equations here and there. We know fixed cost plus profit is equal to contribution. That automatically means profit is nothing but contribution minus fixed cost. Same. So once we know the concept of basic marginal costing equation, which is nothing but fixed cost plus profit is equal to sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution, this equation should be used in whatever way we want according to the requirements of the question. That is the raw amount, whether in per unit form or in total form. But PV ratio is different. PV ratio, what it is showing? It is showing contribution divided by sales. In other words, for every 100 rupees of sales, how much percentage is your contribution? That's what PV ratio says. If you earn 100 rupees as sales, because we are expressing it as percentage, meaning of PV ratio will be, if you earn 100 rupees sales, out of that 100 rupees sales, how much percentage is your contribution which is available for covering your fixed cost and profit? That's what is simply PV ratio. So once we have this PV ratio, let us understand what is the other side of the PV ratio, which is the complement of PV ratio. Two ratios are called complements of each other. The total of them, if it is equal to 100, those are called complements. Now, let us say PV ratio is there, which is nothing but sales minus variable cost divided by sales, isn't it? That is PV ratio, right? Let us expand this. S by S minus V by S. That's what is PV ratio, no? So PV ratio is nothing but S by S minus V by S. What is S by S? 1 minus V by S. So PV ratio is what? 1 minus V by S. So now what we can conclude? PV ratio and variable cost to sales ratio are complements with each other. In other words, if a particular product has 100 rupees as a selling price, and if its variable cost is 60, automatically contribution is going to be 40. So what is 40% here? PV ratio, that is contribution by sales ratio. And what is 60% here? That is a variable cost to sales ratio. Means PV ratio and contribution to sales, which is PV ratio, and variable cost to sales ratio are complements with each other. That's what is another thing that we should understand. So if in a question it is given that PV ratio is 80%, very rare, but if at all, that means variable cost to sales ratio is 20%. On the contrary, if in a question it is given that variable cost to sales ratio is 50%, then PV ratio is also 50%, which means these two ratios are complements with each other, complements to each other. The total of both of them will be equal to 1 naturally. So you can take the other way also. PV ratio is nothing but C by S, no? So C by S is equal to 1 minus V by S. That's it. So in other words, C by S plus V by S is equal to 1, isn't it? Right? Take S. C plus V by S is equal to 1, isn't it? Then what is C? Contribution. That is nothing but sales minus variable cost. Plus V is anyway there. Divided by S equal to 1. So proven simply. S by S anyway is going to be equal to 1. So we don't need to every time prove all this, and just understand what is the relationship between them. One thing is fixed cost plus profit is equal to sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution. Dividing it by sales. Fixed cost plus profit by sales is equal to sales minus variable cost by sales is equal to contribution by sales is equal to PV ratio. And whatever the PV ratio as a percentage is, it is a complement of variable cost to sales ratio. These are the things that we can understand from these formulae that we have. Now, let us extend this further with some more formula. All are derivations of same thing, nothing new actually. We know this already, right? Say fixed cost plus profit divided by sales is equal to PV ratio. We know this already, right? So PV ratio into sales is what? Fixed cost plus profit, that is equal to sales minus variable cost, that is equal to contribution. So if you do just cross multiplication, simply sales into PV ratio, what we will get? Sales into PV ratio is nothing but contribution. That is fixed cost plus profit, that is sales minus variable cost. Now let us extend this further. Same thing. Fixed cost plus profit divided by sales is equal to PV ratio. We know this already. Now let us cross multiply this. So what happens? Fixed cost plus profit divided by PV ratio. I'm going to write P by V. You have to understand it is PV ratio is equal to sales, isn't it? So sales, particularly when we look at total sales here, sales is equal to fixed cost plus profit divided by PV ratio. Let us further change it, expand it. Fixed cost by PV ratio plus profit by PV ratio is equal to total sales, coming from the same equation. So total sales, how can we find out? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio plus profit divided by PV ratio. Now, what is this fixed cost divided by PV ratio? That is called as break-even sales. In other words, that is the level of sales in rupees where the contribution earned by the organization is only enough to cover the fixed cost. There is no profit, neither there is any loss. So what is break-even sales? Simply is nothing but that is the level of sales where there is no profit, no loss. And what is the formula for that? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. We have it plus. In addition to the break-even sales, over and above the break-even sales, whatever the sales are achieved, those are called margin of safety sales. That is equal to sales. So the total sales is equal to break-even sales plus margin of safety sales. And how to find out break-even sales? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. How to find out margin of safety? Profit divided by PV ratio. This formula have to be remembered. Very, very important formula. Profit divided by PV ratio is margin of safety. Fixed cost divided by PV ratio is break-even sales. In the ICA material, the summary of all these formulae are already there, but I suggest you to write them. Not necessarily the derivation and all these steps, but at least the final formula you have to write them on paper in your own notes, and you have to write them not just once. You have to write them multiple times by understanding them. While understanding them, you write these formulae, and you can do any other cross multiplications also to arrive at any new formulae. But ultimately the concept of fixed cost, variable cost, sales and profit is going to be same. The words we use definitely are different. Sales minus variable cost, we used a word called contribution. That was equal to fixed cost plus profit. That contribution divided by sales was PV ratio. That is a new word. And that PV ratio is found out by taking contribution divided by sales. And that PV ratio is a complement of variable cost to sales ratio. And if you take the formula for PV ratio, which is nothing but fixed cost plus profit by sales, and you cross multiply it, we get fixed cost by PV ratio plus profit by PV ratio is nothing but total sales. That is what actually the total sales is consisting of. Some portion of it is break-even sales and some portion of it is margin of safety. And we are talking about rupee terms here. So how to calculate break-even sales in rupee terms is fixed cost by PV ratio. How to calculate margin of safety in rupee terms is profit by PV ratio. Naturally, total fixed cost and profit in the numerator are totals, right? Total we are talking. PV ratio is a ratio. Whether you take total contribution by total sales, whether you take unit contribution by selling price per unit, PV ratio is going to be same. It is not going to have any impact of that. But numerator, definitely the fixed cost total and profit total are taken. And if they are divided by PV ratio, we get break-even sales and margin of safety sales respectively. And if we add them, we get the total sales. Now, if at all we want to calculate number of units to be sold for break-even, how many number of units to be sold for the purpose of break-even, that can be identified with another formula. So break-even point in number of units, in units this is, not in rupees, that can be found out by taking fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. That is the number of units break-even point. Same way, margin of safety number of units also can be found, right? what will be that? Naturally, profit divided by contribution per unit. So, fixed cost divided by contribution per unit is break-even point in units. Margin of safety, number of units sale, is profit divided by contribution per unit. So that's what is the formula for break-even point and margin of safety if we want to calculate them in number of units. Now, we have to be able to calculate break-even point also, margin of safety also, in rupees also, in number of units terms also, according to the information that is given in the question. Just one more extension we can have it. We can say margin of safety ratio. Margin of safety is different. Margin of safety ratio is different. Margin of safety is the sales level over and above the break-even sales. Margin of safety ratio is different. So what is margin of safety ratio? That is nothing but margin of safety divided by sales into 100. In other words, total sales minus break-even sales divided by total sales into 100. That's what is. Into 100 is always common. That is for expression as a percentage. That is margin of safety ratio. Margin of safety is not a percentage. Margin of safety can be in rupee terms or it can be expressed as number of units also. In rupee terms, we can find out by taking profit by PV ratio. In number of units terms, we can take profit by contribution per unit, that we already seen. But margin of safety ratio is different. That is margin of safety divided by sales into 100. In other words, sales minus break-even sales divided by sales into 100. That's what is margin of safety ratio. Now, we can even have one more point. When the total sales are there, break-even sales plus margin of safety sales is total sales. That we know. Break-even sales plus margin of safety sales is equal to total sales or sales. Then, if you divide both of them with sales only, both sides, we can do that, no? Then what? This is equal to 1. Naturally, sales by sales is 1. Now, what it is showing, this is break-even sales ratio, break-even sales ratio, not break-even sales, it is ratio, plus margin of safety ratio, that is equal to 1. In other words, these two are complements to each other also. In other words, if there is 100 rupees sales, in that, if 20 rupees are representing margin of safety, remaining 80 rupees are representing break-even sales. By selling 80 rupees only, you can get your fixed cost covered. But still there is no profit, no loss. That extra 20 is the margin of safety sales. So margin of safety ratio plus break-even sales ratio is equal to 1. These two are also complements to each other, just like PV ratio and variable cost to sales ratio. That is one more derivation that we can get from the same things. All are linked with each other if you observe. Nothing that we are freshly bringing here. Now, one formula definitely that will be useful in many problems, that will be definitely required to be known, though it is not derived from this directly. That is a formula for PV ratio in a different manner. PV ratio can be found out in many manners. If we know the actual essence of PV ratio in one formula, by doing just cross multiplication here and there, we can find out by using any funny of the formula. But this formula of PV ratio is very important. This is useful in solving some of the questions. So PV ratio can be found out like taking change in profit or change in contribution divided by change in sales into 100. One of them only, change in profit or change in contribution divided by sales. Logic you can understand also. When we have to apply this formula, when the sales and contribution or profit, one of them, is given for two different periods, year 1, year 2, how much are sales, year 1, year 2, how much was the contribution and how much was the profit. If this data is given, we can find out PV ratio by taking this formula, change in the profit as the case may be, divided by denominator is same, change in sales. Logic, if you understand, when there is a change in contribution, will that be same as change in profit also? Of course, yes. Why? Change in contribution means what? Contribution is nothing but fixed cost plus profit, and fixed cost is not going to change. So when there is a change in contribution, naturally there is going to be a same change in profit also, because fixed cost is not going to change. So change in contribution or change in profit, both are one and the same. That will be in the numerator according to the information given in the question. Divided by change in sales into 100, of course, will give us PV ratio. That is very important, and another formula that can be applied in solving many problems. These are the various aspects of CVP analysis, cost, volume, profit analysis. Main terminology that you should remember and know here as the formulae, and which will be applicable also in many questions, are contribution. What is contribution? What is PV ratio? What is break-even point? What is margin of safety? Break-even point in terms of rupees, in terms of units, both, and margin of safety ratio, and relationship between all of these things have to be definitely clearly understood and remembered as formulae very well. Also, in addition to that, additional formula for PV ratio, which is change in profit or change in sales, change in profit or change in contribution divided by change in sales. That formula also can be applied in solving many questions from this particular chapter. But for all of them, one core point is to be definitely remembered. That is the fundamental equation. Fixed cost plus profit is equal to sales minus variable cost. Everything that we have derived has started from there only. And I suggest all of you to write the formula first, write them first, then write them not just once, write them more number of times. You may pause the video now, write the formula first, then try to recollect them, then start solving the problems, as we are going to discuss some of the problems today in this session, and some more problems we'll solve in the upcoming sessions. But before solving the problems, definitely we should be thorough with the formulae, not just formulae, but the logic behind them also, reason, rationale behind them also should be definitely known. And that will come when you put pen on paper and actually write them and understand the relationship yourselves. What I have shown is the derivation of the formula from one core relationship of marginal costing, we can say. But application can be in many forms. If we are by hearting the formula, the problem will be you never know which formula to be used in a problem. If you remember the formula with understanding, then you can apply relevant formula according to the information given in the problem. Then you don't have to break your heads which formula to be used. There will be always some students who face difficulty in the marginal costing problem solving with the one question only in their mind: which formula to be used? And why that confusion comes? Just because of lack of thoroughness with the formula. That's all. It is nothing rocket science, simple arithmetic. This entire chapter is purely formula based and arithmetical exercise. Very simple, frankly speaking. But if we cannot understand what is the information given, and if we don't understand the relationship, first of all, main point is relationship between each of these items has to be known very clearly. Once we know that, we will establish that as an equation, substitute them according to the data that is given and get the answer. That's it. But you cannot by heart blindly and try to fix some models for the problems. Those type of questions may not come. Whatever question is asked in the examination, we should be ready to face. And according to the information given in the question only, our formula application should be there. You cannot expect, I know 4 formulas, so the question should come from that 4 formulae. No, not like that. Formulae are there. Those are for general understanding. More than formulae, the relationship is important. Now, let us solve some of the questions which were given in the past examination and can be asked also in similar types. We'll approach with open mind with the knowledge that we have already about contribution, PV ratio, break-even point, margin of safety, profit, variable cost, fixed cost, sales. That's all. These are the things, all that we need to know. And once we know our relationship between them, we can solve any question. All that we need to do is approach the problem according to whatever information given with an open mind, not to expect a problem to meet our framework. So 24th question, if we solve, the following figures are related to LM Limited for the year ending whatever it is. Sales are given at 24,000 units at the rate of 200 rupees per unit. PV ratio was 25%. Break-even point was 50% of sales. Very much fantastic. The data is there. Before going to even actually solving the question or questions which were asked for 5 marks. So 5 points, 5 marks question can be asked like this. First we should assimilate the data which is available. See, sales are 24,000 units. Okay, fine, Baba. But what is in rupees? 24,000 units into 200 rupees per unit means what is the sales in rupees? That we should first calculate. We can do that. 24,000 into 200 means 48 lakhs rupees is the sales. Whether it is useful or not, that is a different story. We can just assimilate the data and keep it ready, and it doesn't take much time. So 48 lakhs rupees is the total sales in rupees. Now, PV ratio is 25%, he said. Automatically, PV ratio 25% means variable cost ratio will be how much? That will be 75% of sales. When PV ratio is 25%, variable cost will be 75%. So 48 lakhs into 75% means total variable cost is how much? 36 lakhs. We know this. Totals these are. Now naturally, how much will be the contribution? How much is the contribution? Sales minus variable cost. That is 12 lakhs rupees. Already we know that. Fixed cost, how much we don't know. But if you can deduct fixed cost, what you get is profit. Simple marginal costing equation will be always like this. Sales minus variable cost, that is contribution, minus fixed cost, that is profit. But we don't know certain things here. We have to find them out. First question itself is that we are supposed to find out fixed cost for the year. That was given. Fixed cost for the year is the requirement, which was not known to us. We have to calculate that. Then we have to observe how to get it. Okay, we have total sales, we have variable cost, we have total contribution, we know PV ratio, fine. We know variable cost to sales ratio, fine. But fixed cost is not known. There we have to identify, okay, is there any other data which is available which can be useful to us? Yes. What is that? Break-even point. What was given in the question? Break-even point is 50% of sales. When sales are 48 lakhs, 50% of sales means how much? Break-even point will be naturally, that is 24 lakhs. Isn't it? That is given in the question. But we calculated 48 lakhs. But break-even point 50% of sales, that is given in the question. So 50% of 48 lakhs is 24 lakhs. But we should know the formula for break-even point. What is that? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. That is 24 lakhs. How much will be fixed cost? 24 lakhs into PV ratio, cross multiplication. And PV ratio we already know. That is given in the question, which was 25%. So 24 lakhs into 25%. 1/4 of that is going to be fixed cost, which means 6 lakhs rupees is going to be the fixed cost. That is the answer for first question. We got it. So if 6 lakhs rupees is the fixed cost, naturally profit is going to be 6 lakhs. So we got answer for second question also automatically. That was the second question. Profit earned for the year. Fixed cost is 6 lakhs. Profit is also 6 lakhs. That's it. Anything can be asked in the same data. For example, if margin of safety is asked, you can just take profit by PV ratio. That is 6 lakhs divided by 0.25. That is 24 lakhs. So when break-even sales are 24 lakhs, naturally margin of safety sales will be another 24 lakhs. So that the total sales are 48 lakhs. When break-even sales to the total sales ratio is 50%. Margin of safety ratio is going to be the complement of that, which is 50%. All these things you don't have to do in the exam. For understanding purposes, from the data available, you should have the total picture that we should understand in our brain. What is asked, that only we will put on paper. While learning and practicing, you should understand the entire picture. While you practice, if you follow this technique, in the examination, you can easily do whatever is asked. Not necessarily the same will be asked in the exam. In the same question, same data, question can be asked, what is the margin of safety? Answer is 24 lakhs. What is the margin of safety ratio? Answer is 50%. Like that, any question can be asked. But here fixed cost is asked, which we calculated to be 6 lakhs. Profit is 6 lakhs also, incidentally, because break-even point is 50% of the sales. Now, what is the break-even point in number of units? Naturally, 12,000 units. Half of the total sales in number of units. So, number of units to rupees, clarity should be there. And whatever is asked, according to that, we have to calculate, and we have to use our calculations carefully. So, fixed cost 6 lakhs, profit 6 lakhs. Now, another third question is asked, what are the number of units? We have to calculate the number of units to be sold to earn a target profit of 11 lakhs rupees for a year. So, there is a profit of 11 lakhs rupees target. Okay. Then how many number of units are supposed to be sold? Of course, there can be a formula for it easily, not a big problem. But let us just do it logically. From that, we can derive the formula and we can easily use it in exam also. So that in exam, we don't have to waste that much time. But while learning, we can understand a simple thing. See, number of units, let us call it as N. Number of units multiplied with selling price. That is sales, na? Number of units we don't know, but selling price we know. Number of units already 24,000. That is different. That is for the existing scenario. Now third question is different scenario. Now the profit is 6 lakhs, but they have a target of 11 lakhs, not 6 lakhs. Now the question is how many number of units they should sell in order to get a net profit of 11 lakhs. Other things remain same, naturally. So number of units is what we should calculate. That is 200 is selling price. That will be the total sales. That's what is equal to, sales is equal to what? Fixed cost plus variable cost plus profit, no? Isn't it? Fixed cost plus variable cost plus profit, right? That's what is going to be the total sales. Now, fixed cost here is how much? That is going to remain the same. Variable cost, we don't know. Variable cost per unit will be constant. So how much will be the variable cost? Earlier, how much was the variable cost? When PV ratio was 25%, variable cost to sales ratio was 75%. 200 rupees selling price, 75% means variable cost was 150 rupees per unit. By using the same things, we should be able to get every item. 200 rupees selling price, 150 rupees variable cost. Then per unit it was profit, or sorry, contribution of 50. That was there earlier. Now the situation is different. Now, number of units we need, as far as per unit things are concerned, selling price is not changing. And variable cost per unit also is not changing. That is going to be the same. In other words, contribution per unit is also going to be same. But anyway, let us take the same thing with a logical formula rather than a formula itself. So 150N is the total variable cost. Plus, now profit is different. Now profit is what? 11 lakhs, isn't it? That's the required profit, not 6 lakhs. So fixed cost plus variable cost, which is total cost, plus profit is the total sales that is required, right? Now take this 150 to the other side. 200N minus 150N will be 50N, isn't it? That is equal to how much? 17 lakhs. Then what is the number of units to be produced and sold in order to get that much profit? 17 lakhs by 50. How many units are supposed to be sold? 34,000 units are supposed to be produced and sold if they want to earn a profit of 11 lakhs rupees. That is the answer for this question. You don't need to by heart any formula. Common sense also is enough to solve that. Final answer for third question is 34,000. Currently they are only selling 24,000. at which they are earning a profit of 6 lakhs. If they want to earn a profit of 11 lakhs, they have to increase the number of units sales to 34,000 units. That is the conclusion. But do we need to do all this? We don't have to. Just understand this. What is this 50? This is contribution, no? Per unit, right? Which is going to be same unless there is any change. So selling price minus variable cost per unit is contribution per unit, right? So 50 is contribution per unit. How to find out number of units required to be produced and sold in order to earn a desired profit? What did we do? 6 lakhs plus 11 lakhs divided by 50. What was 6 lakhs? Fixed cost. Plus what was 11 lakhs? Desired profit. Divided by what was 50? Contribution per unit. You have a formula. That's what we did. We don't need a separate formula for it always. But yes, now in exams, because we don't have to derive all this, straight away we can use this formula. What is the formula for finding out number of units to be produced and sold in order to earn a desired profit? Fixed cost plus desired profit divided by contribution per unit. That's it. That is the answer for third question in that. Now fourth question. Number of units to be sold to earn a net income of 25% on cost. 25% on cost is the profit. So here there is a problem because we don't have an absolute number of desired profit. But still we have to find out that number of units to be sold to earn a net income of 25% on cost. Let us take this. Formula we know already. Fine. Number of units to be sold is that we know. Now, fixed cost is going to be same, right? Fixed cost is going to be how much? 6 lakhs. Plus desired profit we don't know. Desired profit will be how much? That will be 25% on cost. When you say 25% on cost, 25% on cost, that means it will be 1/4 on cost. If it is 1/4 on cost, it means it is 1/5 on sales. That we know. So if the desired profit is 25% on cost, it will be 20% on sales. So let us say here number of units here is n only as the same denotion. 6 lakhs is the fixed cost, that is not going to change. And if the objective is to get 20% profit on sales, we can say 0.2 yes is the profit. Okay, 0.2 yes, 20% on S is here sales, total sales, divided by contribution per unit. Contribution per unit. So here the contribution per unit is going to be the same, which is 50 as before, because originally 200 rupees was the selling price, 150 variable cost per unit. Those things are not changing. Only thing that desired profit is expressed as a percentage of sales, which is not known in the absolute number. Contribution per unit is 50. Now just cross multiply it. 50n is equal to 6 lakhs plus 0.2 into sales. What is sales? Sales is nothing but number of units multiplied with selling price. No? Selling price is 200, right? So when selling price is 200 and 20% of the total sales is the desired profit. Naturally, what is the desired profit here? 200 into 0.2, 40n. So 40n, if you take the other side, 10n is equal to 6 lakhs. That means n is equal to 60,000 units. So what is the number of units that should be sold in order to get a desired profit of 20% on sales or 25% on cost? 1/4 on cost is nothing but 1/5 on sales. That is 60,000 units. That is answer for fourth question. Number of units to be sold to earn a net income of 25% on cost. First we have to understand 25% of on cost is nothing but 20% on sales. But sales is what? Selling price multiplied with number of units. We don't know number of units, so we said n and substitute in the formula. N is equal to fixed cost plus desired profit divided by contribution per unit. Contribution per unit is 50 rupees only. There is not going to be any change in the selling price. There is not going to be any change in the variable cost per unit unless otherwise mentioned. So no change will be there in the contribution per unit also. So if the company can sell, if they can sell 60,000 units, then they can earn a profit of 20% on sales. Just for understanding purposes. How much profit they were earning now? If they were selling only 24,000 units according to the existing data, they were earning only 6 lakhs profit on a sales of 48 lakhs rupees. That means only 12.5% profit they are earning. Only 12.5% profit they are earning on sales as of now. Imagine if 11 lakhs profit if they are making as contemplated in the second scenario. 11 lakhs profit if they are making, how many number of units were supposed to be sold? 34,000 units are supposed to be sold, which means sales would have been 68 lakhs. 34,000 into 200, 68 lakhs. So 11 by 68, approximately 16% profit they were making on sales. Still not enough. They wanted 20% profit on sales. When can they achieve that? If they wanted 20% profit on sales, they have to sell how many number of units? 60,000 units. So you can check each of these things just for understanding purposes. I'm only explaining all this in detail in different ways only in the initial times for the initial problems so that we understand things properly in all the respects. Imagine if the company is selling 60,000 units. You should be able to find out what is the profit. Yes, 60,000 units into 50. What is the contribution per unit? 50 multiplying with 60,000 units. That is 30 lakhs rupees is the total contribution. Right? Total contribution minus fixed cost will be what? Profit. What is that profit? 24 lakhs rupees. Check whether it is 20% of sales or not. First of all, how much are sales? 60,000 units into 60,000 units into 200 rupees per unit means 1 crore 20 lakhs is the sales. 1 crore 20 lakhs is the sales. Is the 24 lakhs 20% of 1 crore 20 lakhs or not? Yes, that's what they wanted. So their target was that. We proved it. That if they sell 60,000 units, they can achieve a profit of 20% on sales. That was the question number 4. Answer is 60,000. Question number 1 answer is 6 lakhs rupees. Question number 2 answer is 6 lakhs rupees. Question number 3 answer is 34,000 units. Each of them you have to clearly write in the examination. Just numbers won't suffice. You have to clearly write. Units, rupees, what is that? 34,000 what? Units. That was third question. Fourth question also number of units. That is how much? 60,000 units. That was answer for fourth question. Now, question number 5. What selling price they should charge per unit is that means it is going to change. If the break-even point to be brought down by 4,000 units. Break-even point to be brought down by 4,000 units. So first of all, what is the existing break-even point in units? That we should know. Existing break-even point in units is 12,000. Why? Because break-even point is 50% of sales. 50% of 24,000 units is 12,000 units. So existing break-even point is 12,000 units. That is clear, that we know. Existing break-even point is 12,000 units and it has to be brought down by 4,000 units, he said. By 4,000 units, if you want to bring it down, what is the new break-even point then? New break-even point will be naturally 8,000 units, right? What is the selling price to be charged, he is asking. That means remaining things will be same. Selling price only is what we want. Simple. If the new break-even point is supposed to be 8,000 units, break-even point formula in terms of number of units is fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Fixed cost is going to be same, no change. We know that. How much is that? 6 lakhs. That we already calculated in the beginning itself. Fixed cost 6 lakhs divided by contribution per unit is equal to 8,000. That means contribution per unit is how much? 6 lakhs divided by 8,000. How much will be that? 75 rupees contribution. But that does not matter. We need selling price. But we know the formula for contribution. What is contribution formula? Selling price minus variable cost is contribution. Then how to get selling price? Adding variable cost to the contribution. Variable cost is known already. There is no change in that. Per unit it will be same. So 150 rupees was the variable cost. That will still be the same. 150 plus 75. Answer is 225 rupees. In other words, if they can increase the selling price from 200 rupees to 225 rupees, then their break-even point will be down by 4,000 units. They will be able to achieve the break-even point earlier because the selling price is more and contribution is more than earlier. That's it. Answer here is 225 rupees per unit. That is the selling price they should charge if they want to bring down the break-even point from 12,000 units to 8,000 units. Everything is formula and conceptual understanding of relationship between each of them. 8,000 units is the new break-even point. Formula for break-even point is fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Fixed cost we know. Contribution per unit will be 75 rupees in that case, which is nothing but selling price minus variable cost per unit. Then, how much is selling price per unit? Contribution plus variable cost per unit. Variable cost per unit 150. We know, no change in that. So naturally the selling price is supposed to be 225 rupees in order to achieve their target of bringing down the break-even point by 4,000 units. Like these questions can be very well asked with few more, one or two more added. Similar questions can be asked for 10 marks also. That was a question given in the earlier examinations, quite possible to be asked. From the data, we have to just use the relevant formula and get our answer. Simple. Now, another question, let us look at this. This is where data related to 2 years is given, 2 different years. SHA Limited provides the following results for 2 different years, whatever they are. Let us say year 1 and year 2. Sales is given, profit is given as a percentage of sales. Simple first point is we should know absolute numbers. How much is the profit here as a percentage of sales? So 10% of sales means 2,50,000. 8% of sales means 1,60,000. Right? So from 2012-13 to 2013-14, profit has decreased actually from 2,50,000 to 1,60,000. Fine, maybe that is possible. But the point is change in profit. Change in profit divided by change in sales gives us PV ratio. How much is the change in profit? Negative, isn't it? Negative 90,000 is the change in profit. Change is change. This is negative. And change in sales is also negative because from 25 lakhs, they came down to 20 lakhs. So negative 5 lakhs is the change in sales. Minus minus both will get nullified into 100. So first and foremost thing, when we have 2 years data, we have to calculate PV ratio. How much is the PV ratio here? Change in profit is 90,000. Change in sales is 5 lakhs. So 90,000 divided by 5 lakhs into 100, which is 18% PV ratio. First thing we have to calculate whether it is asked or not, because that is going to be useful for all the questions. Change in profit divided by change in sales into 100 is the formula for PV ratio. We should know that first, then substitute the relevant data given in the question to arrive at PV ratio, which we got as 18%. Now what is required according to the question? First point is fixed cost. Okay, we can substitute in any year's data so that we can get fixed cost. Anything actually, 12, 13, 13, 14 doesn't matter. Let us take 12, 13 data. 25 lakhs is the sales, right? So when you say 25 lakhs is the sales, sales into PV ratio is what? You should remember everything. When PV ratio is equal to contribution by sales, sales into PV ratio will be what? contribution. So 25 lakhs, this is multiplication bracket, not negative bracket. 25 lakhs into 18%. Sales are 25 lakhs, 18% is the PV ratio. That means how much was the contribution first of all in 1 year? That was 4,50,000. When contribution is known, which is nothing but fixed cost plus profit, 4,50,000 is fixed cost plus profit. What is asked here? Fixed cost. How to know that? How to know that? 4,50,000 minus profit. So fixed cost is how much? 4,50,000 minus, you have to take the profit of that year only. Which year sales you have taken? 25 lakhs sales you have taken, means 2,50,000 was the profit. So 2,50,000 profit of that year, if you reduce it, how much is the fixed cost? Exactly 2 lakhs. That is the answer for first question. Fixed cost was 2 lakhs. So what if I substitute in the years data of 13-14 data? Of course, you will get the same result. You can test it if you want. For understanding purposes, in exam, don't do unnecessary things. One is enough. If you substitute the same thing in 2013-14 data also, you will get the same answer. See, 20 lakhs was the sales. So 20 lakhs sales means PV ratio 18% means 3,60,000 was contribution. Profit was 1,60,000. Deduct that. Fixed cost will be 2 lakhs. There also it is 2 lakhs. Always fixed cost is same unless otherwise it is mentioned. Fixed cost is constant throughout the periods and level of activity does not have any impact on fixed cost. So that is the first question answer. Fixed cost 2 lakhs rupees. Second question, break-even point. Straightforward question. Break-even point, what is the formula? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. Fixed cost by PV ratio. So divided by 0.18. PV ratio 18% is nothing but 0.18. So 2 lakhs divided by 0.18 means fixed cost 2 lakhs divided by 0.18. That will be 11 lakhs, 11,111. That is the break-even point. Fixed cost 2 lakhs divided by PV ratio 18%. 11 lakhs, 11,111. That is the answer for second question. Third question. Amount of profit if sales are 30 lakhs. If, so this is a different story. 30 lakhs sales if there are, then how much will be contribution? Again, 30 lakhs sales into PV ratio, that is 18%. That is how much? 30 lakhs sales into PV ratio 18% means 5,40,000 is the contribution. Deduct fixed cost from that, which is 2 lakhs. Automatically you get profit of 3,40,000. That is the answer for third question. What was asked? How much will be the profit if sales are 30 lakhs? If sales are 30 lakhs, contribution will be 5,40,000. Fixed cost we already know. Deduct fixed cost from the contribution, you get profit, that is 3,40,000. Relationship between each items is to be known very thoroughly. Then we can just substitute in the formula and get the answers. Answer for third question is 3,40,000. Next, sales when desired profit is 4,75,000. Sales when desired profit is 4,75,000. We know this formula already. Sales number of units, we know how to get desired profit at certain number of units of sales. What was that? Fixed cost plus desired profit divided by contribution per unit. But here we don't know number of units and all, we don't know selling price, nothing, no other data is there. So can we apply that formula here? Not possible. So instead of contribution per unit, if we apply PV ratio, we get in rupees. Same logic applies everywhere. If you want break-even point in rupees, answer is fixed cost divided by PV ratio. If you want break-even point in number of units, fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. If you want margin of safety in rupees, profit by PV ratio. If you want margin of safety in units, then profit by contribution per unit. So PV ratio, if it is in the denominator, you get resultant in rupees. Contribution per unit is in the denominator, you get number of units. Earlier we have done number of units because that question asked it. Number of units to be sold in order to get a desired profit. This question is asking sales required to earn a desired profit. That can be rewritten as another formula, which is nothing but fixed cost plus the desired profit divided by, instead of contribution per unit, we get PV ratio. So that the resultant is not number of units, resultant is in rupees. Total sales value. Volume is different, value is different. In the denominator, if it is contribution per unit, we were calculating volume. Here we are calculating value of sales. That clarity has to be there. Substitution is easiest thing. Substitution is not a big deal. Clarity on each of these words and why are we doing it, understanding it is most important. Fixed cost we know already, 6 lakhs. Sorry, in this case, what is it? 2 lakhs. No, 6 lakhs was the earlier question. 2 lakhs is a fixed cost. Okay, fine. Plus desired profit is given. How much was the profit desired? 4,75,000. Okay, fine. 4,75,000 profit they want. If they want to achieve 4,75,000 profit, PV ratio we already know, 18%, 0.18. How much should be the sales that they should be able to make? 2 lakhs plus 4,75,000 divided by 0.18. That comes to 37,50,000 what? That is rupees. 37,50,000 rupees worth of sales they have to make if they want to have a profit of 4,75,000. Now they are not making that much profit. Actually, they are making very less profit compared to 4,75,000. But that is their target. It's only just a calculation. If the desired profit was 4,75,000, how much sales they have to make? Answer is 37,50,000 rupees. That is the answer for fourth question. Next, margin of safety at a profit of 2,70,000. That is again a straightforward question. Margin of safety formula we know. What is margin of safety formula? Profit by PV ratio. And profit is given in that question. That is different case. 2,70,000, if at all that is the profit. If 2,70,000 is the profit, profit divided by PV ratio is margin of safety. So what is the answer for that question? Straight substitution in the formula. 270,000 divided by 0.18. 15 lakhs rupees is the margin of safety. In that case, always have to keep in mind, each of these 5 points are not necessarily related to the original data. First 2 points are related to original data. Fixed cost and break-even point we had calculated using the data available originally. Of course, that was possible if we calculated PV ratio first. Then third scenario is a different scenario. If it is sales achieved 30 lakhs, how much will be profit? Imagination, and that has to be imagined and forecasted actually. What will be the sales required to be achieved if at all the profit desired is 4,75,000? That is another case altogether. There is no link between third question and fourth question and fifth question. That clarity should be there. This is one of the areas where students unnecessarily mess it up, thinking that all questions are related to one question only. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. So third, fourth and fifth cases are completely different from one another. But data what we are taking is from the original data, where fixed cost is same, that is 2 lakhs. Then PV ratio is same, that is 18%. When will PV ratio change? Only when there is a change in the selling price or when there is a change in the variable cost per unit. Otherwise PV ratio will not change. But normally, unless otherwise stated, you cannot assume that selling price is changing. Of course, we know variable cost per unit will not change. That means PV ratio also will not change. Fixed cost though in total always constant, that will never change. So 2 lakhs will remain 2 lakhs in all those 3, 4, 5 problems or points also. So what is remaining same, what is changing is very important aspect to identify, and that is only to be identified from the question. We should not imagine, we should not dream things. We should see the question clearly, and then easily we can understand what is the requirement and how to get the requirement using which formula can be definitely achieved with more practice also. Now, going backwards to question number 22, MFN Limited started its operation in 2011 with the total production capacity of 2 lakhs units. That is a capacity. And the following data for 2 years is made available to you, whatever 2 years they are. In 2011, they were able to sell 80,000 units. And in 2012, they were able to sell 1,20,000 units. This is, read the question carefully, units, it is not rupees. But cost is naturally given in rupees. In 2011 and 12, both are different. Now, there has been no change in the cost structure and selling price. That means selling price is same, cost structure is also same, and it is expected to continue in 2013 as well. That means no change in selling price, no change in cost structure. That will continue for the next year also, whatever it is, which is 2013. That's what is the question telling us. And selling price is already given 40 rupees per unit. When we have all this data, what we need here in this question is, you are required to calculate break-even point in units, variable cost per unit, PV ratio, and profit at 75% of the total capacity in 2013. Last question, that is separate situation. First we need break-even point in units. For that we should first know the formula. What is formula for break-even point in units? We should know that. What is the formula? Formula will be, first of all, fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Break-even point in units formula is fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Do we know fixed cost? We don't know. Do we know contribution per unit? That also we don't know. So for that purpose, first of all, we have to use the existing data and assimilate it in such a way that it is useful for our calculations. First of all, when you have selling price 40 rupees per unit, when you have selling price 40 rupees per unit, can we have total sales and total cost anyway is given and total profit? Of course, yes. So let us take the existing data 2011 and 12 as given already, say 2011, 2012. Okay. Sales will be how much? And we are talking rupees. Huh? Sales not units, rupees. 40 rupees is the selling price. 40 into 80,000 units. How much will be the sales? 32 lakhs. Okay. Next year, 2012, 40 into 1,20,000 units. How much will be sales? 48 lakhs. From the data only, existing data only, we are doing it. Nothing we are creating here. Sales price is given, number of units is given, multiply you get sales, and total cost is given. Deduct the total cost, which is given already. Total cost how much? 34 lakh 40,000, 45 lakhs 60,000. Okay. $45 lakhs 60,000. Now 34 lakh 40,000, 45 lakhs 60,000 is the total cost. Now what will be the profit? You have to be just careful with the signs. You cannot say it doesn't matter, plus or minus both are same. No, they are not same. They are completely different. So 32 lakhs minus 34 lakh 40,000 is 2 lakh 40,000 loss. That is loss. Observe that carefully. And 48 lakhs minus 45 lakh 60,000 is also 2 lakh 40,000, but this is profit. So what is the change in profit here? Change in profit is how much? Minus 242 plus 240, how much it has changed? Change in profit is 4 lakh 80,000. So we know the formula for PV ratio. Change in profit divided by change in sales. How much is the change in profit? 4 lakh 80,000 divided by change in sales we know. 32 to 48 means how much sales have changed? 16 lakhs. Into 100, which means 4 lakh 80,000 divided by 16 lakhs into 100 means 30% is the PV ratio. Actually, we got the answer for third question first. This is done. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. We got PV ratio first. Total sales minus total cost is profit. Change in profit by change in sales is PV ratio. We got it. Fine. Now, further other questions are there. Variable cost per unit. I think that is easier. You know that formula for that also. What is variable cost per unit? That will be change in the total cost divided by change in number of units. Change in total cost is there 45 lakh 60,000 minus 34 lakh 40,000. That is change in total cost of 11 lakh 20,000 divided by number of units changed how much? 80 to 120 means 40,000. Change in number of units is 40,000. So what is the variable cost per unit? Simple. 11 lakh 20,000 divided by 40,000. That is 28 rupees per unit. That is the variable cost per unit. We got the answer for second question also. Then break-even point still requires fixed cost. So we need fixed cost definitely. And for that purpose, you can substitute this in any one of the years. Any 1 year is enough. Let us take total cost of 34,40,000, which includes variable cost plus fixed cost. When variable cost per unit is 28 and number of units is 80,000, what is the total variable cost in the year 2011? That was 22,40,000. You can substitute in that. Total cost is nothing but all linked, fixed cost plus variable cost. Total cost we know 34,40,000. Any 1 year, you can take other year also, no problem. 34,40,000 total cost, fine. That is equal to fixed cost we don't know, that's what we want. Plus variable cost we know. Per unit it was 28 rupees and number of units sold is 80,000. Multiply, that is 22,40,000, which means fixed cost is how much? Which means fixed cost is naturally 34,40,000 minus 22,40,000 means 12 lakhs rupees is the fixed cost. That is the answer for not first question actually, part of it. Now contribution per unit also you can find out. When variable cost per unit is 28 rupees, selling price is 40 rupees. Naturally contribution per unit is how much? 40 minus 28, 12 rupees. So you have fixed cost, you have contribution per unit. What else you want? You want break even point in units. This was the first question for which we are getting answer now. Fixed cost 12 lakhs rupees divided by contribution per unit 12 rupees, which means break even point in is 1 lakh units. That is 1 lakh units is the break even point. That was asked in question number 1. So we have break even point in units, that is 1 lakh units. For that we needed fixed cost, which you could not find out without variable cost per unit. So first we had to do that. That can be found out actually. But PV ratio is something that we also eventually found out as 30%. That was third question. Now, fourth question can be directly understood. Profit at 75% of the total capacity in 2013. So if at all, in 2013 they can get a achievement of 75% of the total capacity. Total capacity was 2 lakhs units. If they can achieve 75% means how many units they can sell in 2013? 1,50,000 units they can produce and sell. So 1,50,000 units if they can achieve in 2013, how much will be the profit is the question. Simple. Just substitute. 1,50,000 units are there. If you multiply with contribution per unit directly, you can get total contribution. Contribution per unit is not going to change. Why? Because selling price is not going to change, variable cost per unit is not going to change, total fixed cost is not going to change. So 40 rupees minus 28 rupees, 12 rupees is the contribution per unit. So next year in 2013, what is the total contribution? 1,50,000 into 12 rupees per unit means 18 lakhs rupees is the contribution. But fixed cost is already known. We already calculated 12 lakhs. That is also not going to change. He said very clearly cost structure is not changing. So fixed cost will be constant in total. Variable cost will be constant in unit terms. So fixed cost is 12 lakhs. So naturally what will be the profit in 2013 contemplated is 6 lakhs. That's all. That is a scenario here. So if in 2011 they got a loss of 2,40,000, 2012 they got a profit of 2,40,000, but in 2013 if they are capable of increasing their production and sales to 75% of the total capacity, which comes to 1,50,000 units, then they might get a profit of 6 lakhs rupees. That was the answer for question number 4. This was also asked in past examinations. Now let us just quickly go through one more question, which is also similar to the ones that we already solved. Now, question number 21. Following information is available for the years 2008 and 9, same way. 2 years information, whatever they are, PIX limited. Sales and profit or loss is given. In 2008, there was a loss of 3 lakhs. In 2009, there is a profit of 7 lakhs. You have to understand, change in profit there is how much? 10 lakhs. Minus 3 to plus 7 is 10. So 10 lakhs is the change in profit. So change in profit by change in sales. Simple. What is the formula for PV ratio? Change in profit by change in sales. So 10 lakhs divided by change in sales is how much? 57 minus 32. That is 25 lakhs into 100. So 10 divided by 25 into 100 is how much? 40% is the PV ratio. Answer for question number 1. Done. A. Next, question number 2 or B. Total fixed cost. Total fixed cost can be found out by using any year. Let us take profit year, at least that is easier. Whatever year you can take. Let us take 57 lakhs sales here. So what is the contribution? Contribution when sales are 57 lakhs. PV ratio is 40%, we know. So when sales are 57 lakhs, sales into PV ratio is contribution. Sales into PV ratio 40% is contribution. That is how much? 22 lakhs 80,000. Then what is contribution? Fixed cost plus profit. So if from contribution, if you deduct profit 7 lakhs, automatically what will get? That is fixed cost, no? So 22 lakhs 80,000 minus 7 lakhs means 15 lakhs 80,000 is fixed cost. That is the answer for this is fixed cost. 15 lakhs 80,000 answer for B bit. Of course, you can get it from 2008 data also. Don't do it in exam, but just for checking purposes, 32 lakhs sales into 40% is PV ratio. Multiplied, you got contribution. So contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit. Here profit is minus 3 lakhs. So contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit. But how much was contribution? 12 lakhs 80,000. That is equal to fixed cost minus 3 lakhs. Profit here is minus 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs will go to that side. How much will be fixed cost? Naturally 15 lakhs 80,000. Same thing what we got. Either way you can get it. Whichever data, whichever year's data if you substitute also doesn't matter. Answer will be same. But that was answer for B bit. Then C bit asks sales required to earn a profit of 12 lakhs. We know this already. Formula itself is there. Though we don't need to by heart it, but we can use it easily. Sales required to earn a profit of anything is nothing but fixed cost plus the desired profit divided by PV ratio. Simple formula. Fixed cost we know already. 15 lakhs 80,000. Desired profit is given in the question. That is 12 lakhs. Divided by PV ratio also we know that is 0.4, that is 40%. 40% is nothing but 0.4. Substitute 15 lakh 80,000 plus 12 lakhs divided by 0.4. That means what is the sales required to earn that much profit? 69 lakh 50,000. That is the answer for C bit. If they can sell only 57 lakhs, they got a profit of 7 lakhs. If they can increase the sales to 69 lakhs 50,000, they can get a profit. They might earn a profit of 12 lakhs rupees. That is the sales required to earn a desired profit of 12 lakhs rupees. Formula is fixed cost plus desired profit divided by PV ratio. Like this, questions were asked in the earlier examinations and similar questions can be asked. Formula have to be remembered very well, as I told already. One of the important things is in this chapter, particularly CVP analysis, formula and concepts, relationship. Everything has to be remembered very well in a very thorough manner. So all these questions you have to solve on paper yourselves after watching this video and understand how this kind of questions can be solved if they are given in the examination. Of course, any type of questions, small or big, can be asked in the examination. Let us look at this question number 17, for example. Say, margin of safety is given 1,87,500. Total cost is given 193,750. Margin of safety number of units is given. Break-even sales is number of units given. So first of all, can we find out what is the selling price? Simple. Why? Because when margin of safety is given in rupees, margin of safety in number of units is also given. So what is the selling price? Naturally will be there 1,87,500 divided by 3,750. 50 rupees is the selling price per unit. Clear? Then total cost is given 193,750. Break-even sales is 1250 units. So what is asking is PV ratio. So when break-even sales is 1250 units, what will be the break-even point in rupees? Simple, 1250 into 50, right? That is 62,500 rupees is what? Break-even point in rupees. That is the second question actually. We got it already. Already we got it. Then, when you have break-even sales and margin of safety sales, the total is equal to total sales. So when number of units is given, for example, here 3750 is the margin of safety units. Break-even sales is 1250 units. That means total sales is how many units? 5000 units. 5000 units into 50 means total sales in rupees is how much? That is going to be naturally 2,50,000. All everything existing data, just have to assimilate and understand the relationship there. So total sales 2,50,000 rupees simply is split into two things. One is break-even sales, one is margin of safety. Margin of safety sales are already given in rupees. That is 187,500. Right? And break-even sales we have calculated 62,500. You can add them. 187,500 plus 62,500 is nothing but 2,50,000. That is the total sales. That is existing data. Everything existing data. Now we need PV ratio. We can find out in any way. Let us find it this way. First of all, what is the total cost? There is some more other data given, so we have to use that also. So far we have not used. What is the total cost? 193,750. What is the total sales? 2,50,000, which we already know. When 2,50,000 is the total sales, 1,93,750 is the total cost. Naturally, how much will be profit? 250,000 minus 193,750. Profit is how much? 56,250. That is the profit. Now, simple point is PV ratio is asked. PV ratio we can find out in a different way. Either way we can find out. Margin of safety is nothing but profit by PV ratio. We know that, right? Margin of safety is equal to profit by PV ratio. So PV ratio is what? Nothing but profit by margin of safety. Just cross multiplication and substitute. Profit we know 56,250 divided by margin of safety is given already 187,500 rupees. So 1,87,500 rupees. Of course, multiply with 100. 56,250 divided by 187,500 into 100. That will be 30% answer for third question, that is PV ratio. So we have got PV ratio, first question actually that was 30% PV ratio, and break-even sales already we got in rupees, that is 62,500. Also is asking fixed cost. Fixed cost is easy. When you know break-even sales already, how much was break-even sales? Break-even sales was 62,500, right? What is the formula for break-even sales? Fixed cost by PV ratio. That is break-even sales. Everything is formula. So 62,500 is the break-even sales. Cross multiply with PV ratio 30%. Naturally, you get fixed cost. So 62,500 into 30%, 18,750 is the answer. That is the fixed cost. Simple. So fixed cost is nothing but break-even sales into PV ratio. Because break-even sales is fixed cost divided by PV ratio. PV ratio we already know. Cross multiply. So simply what is the fixed cost here? 18,750 rupees. That is the fixed cost. So that the break-even sales are 62,500 rupees. That's it. These type of questions can be expected. Smaller questions, but these are important for practice. More you practice these questions, you will be well versed with each of these relationships. Ultimately, everything goes back to the original marginal costing equation. That is, sales minus variable cost is equal to fixed cost plus profit is equal to contribution. But yes, every time you cannot derive them. No? Though we understand that every time we cannot derive them in the examination, we cannot spend that much time. That is why we have to be thorough with the formula. All formula you have to be thorough with. Only simple technique for that is write them on paper as many number of times as required, so that each of the formula can be easily applied. These are some of the questions related to marginal costing. We'll do one more thing and close this session today, and we'll do some more problems in next session. Let us say this question number 16 asks, margin of safety is 2,40,000 rupees, which is representing 40% of sales. PV ratio is 30% of whatever company AB Limited. Calculate the break-even sales and amount of profit at a sales of 9 lakhs rupees. Fine. By the way, A question and B question are different. A is related to AB Limited, B is related to X Limited. We'll come to the second one later. See, margin of safety 2,40,000 is representing 40% of sales, means how much will be sales? Naturally, 2,40,000 into 100 by 40. That means 6 lakhs. First point from the data that is given. Next, PV ratio is given as 30%. Right? When PV ratio is 30% and margin of safety is 2,40,000. So when margin of safety is 2,40,000, which is nothing but profit by PV ratio. This formula also, every formula we should know. Profit by PV ratio is margin of safety, isn't it? So how much will be profit then? Profit will be 2,40,000 into 30%. So 240,000 into 30% means 72,000 is the profit. Okay, we got another data from this. Sales is 6 lakhs. Profit, final thing is 72,000. But we can fill this also simply. Simple, we can say marginal cost sheet. Sales is 6 lakhs. When PV ratio is 30%, variable cost ratio will be 70%. They are complements with each other. So variable cost will be how much? 70% of 6 lakhs is 4,20,000. Which means how much is contribution? 6 lakhs minus 4,20,000 is 1,80,000 is contribution. But profit we know 72,000. How is it possible? Only when fixed cost is how much? That is a balancing figure. 1,70,000, 1,80,000 minus, if you deduct how much, you get 72,000. That is 1,08,000. So fixed cost we got. That is one of the questions, because break-even sales was asked. Of course, break-even sales can be calculated in other way also, but we are getting a full picture here for understanding purposes. 1,08,000 fixed cost divided by PV ratio is 30%. So what is break-even sales? Answer for first question is break-even sales is 3,60,000. So once you have the marginal cost equation clearly, anything can be found out very easily. And by the way, as I told, these things can be found out other way also. Actually, break-even sales can be easily found out directly. If 40% is representing margin of safety, 60% is break-even sales. No? So if 2,40,000 total sales are 6 lakhs, 6 lakhs into 60% is break-even sales. That is 3,60,000. That's what we got. Either way, in any way we get, doesn't matter, answer should match. Answer should be clear, and we should have understood the concept of how we are getting. We should not say, Arey, how can I do this? How can I do that? You do anything. Answer should be same. It will be same. If we do it properly with arithmetical accuracy, answer will be same. So here, break-even sales is 3,60,000. Answer for question number 1 within this. Then question number 2 is amount of profit on sales of 9 lakhs. If sales are 9 lakhs, how much is profit? Just substitute. If sales are 9 lakhs, first of all, how much is going to be the contribution? 30% is the PV ratio. On 9 lakhs, 30% means 2,70,000 is going to be the contribution. Of course, from that, if you deduct fixed cost of same 1,08,000, which anyway we already calculated, you get profit. That is the answer for second question. So 2,70,000 minus 1,08,000 is 1,62,000. 1,62,000 is the profit if the sales are 9 lakhs. Currently sales are not 9 lakhs, they are only 6 lakhs. At 6 lakhs sales, profit was 72,000, though it was not asked. We calculated it for convenience purposes. Then at 9 lakh sales, profit was asked, that is 1,62,000. Sales into PV ratio gets contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost is profit. Simple. That was 1,62,000. Answer for A bit. Now question number B within this. X Limited has earned a contribution of 2 lakhs, net profit 1,50,000, of sales 8 lakhs. What is margin of safety is asking. Okay, we have to put everything in first place. Contribution 2 lakhs, profit is 1,50,000, sales is 8 lakhs, he says. Okay, contribution is 2 lakhs. Sales is how much? 8 lakhs. And profit, net profit of 1,50,000. Profit. One lakh 50,000. Okay. What is asked there? See, from where it is asked. Data given is completely different. What is asked there is margin of safety. First of all, how do you know margin of safety? Margin of safety can be known by taking profit by PV ratio. Easy. We know profit already. Profit is 1,50,000. If we can find out PV ratio, simply we can get margin of safety very easily. So how to get PV ratio? Contribution by sales. So 2 by 8 means 1 by 4. That means 25% is the PV ratio. First point we got. Profit by PV ratio, which is 1,50,000 divided by PV ratio. That gives us the margin of safety. That's all. Answer is 6 lakhs. Margin of safety is 6 lakhs. That was answer. Profit by PV ratio. Profit is 1,50,000 given. PV ratio not given, we should find out. Because contribution is given, sales is given. Contribution divided by sales is PV ratio. That is 25%. And profit by 25% is 6 lakhs is the margin of safety. Answer for B bit in this 16th question. Once again, I am reminding you, you have to be very thorough with the formulae and practice all these questions on paper. If you think that I will remember them, I will be able to do these things in the examination, let me warn you, you will suffer with somewhere getting stuck. That feeling of when you get stuck while solving the problem will actually waste a lot of time, and that will demotivate us in the examination, and that is dangerous. It should never happen. We should smoothly solve the questions in the main examination. That can be done very easily only when we remember the formula well, write them well, and we understand them well, and practice these questions on paper on our own number of times. Then exam questions are just possible to be solved relatively very easily. Of course, with this formulae and some of the problems being discussed in the today's class, we'll close this session, and in the next session we will discuss some more problems related to marginal costing, applying a similar formula and concept. Concept is same always. Thoroughness in the concept is important. If that is clear, everything will be clear. And formula should be remembered. That is the only way we can get expertise on the marginal costing chapter, which will give us very good marks, full marks if we calculate correctly and present it well, and very scoring chapter, marginal costing. We cannot lose this opportunity with recklessness and overconfidence. That's what I observed in earlier cases, so I am warning you in advance. Lot of times people will be either overconfident or completely afraid of these things. Both are wrong. You have to be confident, which can be achieved only with rigorous practice on paper. I hope you do that, and in the next session we will continue to do some more questions. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Thank you very much.